I have made every mistake imaginable when it comes to reducing my midsection. I want to share with you the mistakes I made when I was trying to reduce my belly fat around menopause and what I put right to actually get the midsection that I have today. Hello fam, and welcome to my channel. My name's Melissa Neal and this channel is all about helping you if you're a woman over 40 or like me over 50 get in fantastic shape. And one of the major concerns we have is around belly fat and reducing your midsection, which is actually a real struggle, isn't it? And even if you've been slim all your life, you just accumulate this belly fat and it's really hard to get rid of it. And I actually made a ton of mistakes. I spent 2.5 years making mistakes, and I don't want that to happen to you. I'm going to show you a picture at the start of my transformation journey, and then you can kind of see a few years in, I'd actually lost the weight. I was still carrying a lot of belly fat around my midsection, which I found it really hard to shift. And that's because I was using the wrong techniques. Quite a lot of what I did was follow what you think you might need to do, or maybe what you think you might need to do in your younger days, but that kind of doesn't work anymore. I'm going to take you through the mistakes first, and then I'm going to take you through how to put those mistakes right, how to actually get that right and start seeing results. And if you do this properly, you can actually start seeing results quite quickly. The first thing that I did wrong was nutrition. Reducing your belly fat is mostly about getting the nutrition right. Instinct would tell you, wouldn't it? Well, the thing to do is actually take your calories lower. But you know what I did? I actually took my calories way too low. So I actually wasn't fueling my body correctly and I wasn't getting enough calories in. And why is that a problem? Well, when you're going through menopause, amongst other things to do with all your hormones and everything else, is your metabolism is waning. If you reduce your calories too low, so I was taking mine too low, like 1300 calories, so I wasn't eating enough. What that actually does is actually make your metabolism worse. And what you want to do is build it up. So taking food too low, too extreme, actually just makes your metabolism worse. And what that does is your body actually stores more fat and hangs on to fat. And what's going to happen is you're going to kind of retain the fat around your midsection when you get to this stage in life, which is exactly what you don't want. So you kind of get that skinny fat. Have you ever seen people like that where they look quite slim, but what they've got is like a huge gut, which is what I had, a big midsection. So that's what that does, taking your calories too low, not eating enough food, not fueling your body correctly for working out, not eating enough protein, that kind of thing. The second thing that I did wrong was I was doing hundreds of ab exercises, and namely what the really bad stuff was actually a lot of weighted ab exercises. So you know when you're using one of these pull down machines in the gym and you're adding weight in, or you're doing sit-ups and you're adding weight in, that is not going to help at all. And also oblique exercises where you're working this part of your body. What that tends to do, so weighted oblique ab exercises with maybe a ball or a plate, what that's actually going to do, because your core muscles, your ab muscles, they're like any other muscle group, is if you add weight in, what that's going to do is make them bigger. It's going to make them grow. It's the same with your biceps. If you add weight in and you train there, it's going to make them bigger. But you don't want your midsection bigger. you want it to reduce. The third big mistake I made was doing a ton of cardio. What I was doing was things like long distance running, what I would call strenuous cardio. So I'm not talking about walking, I'm talking about things like getting on an elliptical, running, intense biking. You don't really want to be doing anything like that for more than 30 minutes. And why is that a mistake? It's a mistake I made. It actually doesn't really matter when you're young. It's absolutely okay. Why is it not okay at this age? Because what's happening with your body is you're losing muscle mass. You're losing muscle mass at just under 1% per year over the age of 40. And what doing lots and lots of that type of cardio will do was make you lose even more muscle mass. And what does muscle mass do? Muscle mass increases your metabolism. If you're doing anything that's actually going to reduce your muscle mass, so that's taking your calories too low, doing too much cardio, again, what that's going to do is reduce your metabolism. Your body's going to store more fat. So do you know what happened to me actually when I did running? Is I actually gained weight. This stuff about cardio, I know people find it really hard to take in, but it's absolutely true that you can do too much intense cardio. So now I'm going to talk about what I did to put that right so that you can focus on getting it right and not spend years like I did not seeing the right results. That was what it was like for me. When I started getting things right, I actually started seeing results in a matter of weeks. So the number one thing is getting your nutrition right. This is so key to reducing belly fat and getting the midsection, getting a really tight midsection. It's not doing hundreds of sit-ups, it's actually getting your nutrition right. So how do you do that? You don't want to take your calories really low. You need to fuel your body correctly, and for most people that's going to be taking them over 1400 calories, over 1600 calories. I don't tend to go below 1600 calories. And what you need to do is take your protein high. So that's 1 gram of protein for every pound in body weight per day. Or if you weigh over 170 pounds, shoot for your goal body weight. If your goal body weight is 160 pounds, take in 160 grams per day of protein. So you want to be having 35% protein, 35% carbohydrate and 30% fat. If you want more information on this, I actually have a free nutrition guide that you can download today and start seeing results. And I'm going to link that up here, my free nutrition guide, which actually also has a sample meal plan. And I promise you, it's going to probably give you a lot of information that you didn't know how you can eat, whether you're plant-based or whether you eat fish only or whether you're a meat eater, it doesn't matter. You can still get that amount of protein in. The second thing that I put right was actually how to exercise properly. So that's not about doing a ton of cardio. It's not about doing hundreds of sit-ups. It's actually about incorporating strength training as your main form of exercise. Strength training now, for many years, has pretty much been my main form of exercise. That's what I prioritise, that's what you should prioritise. And cardio is really secondary to that when we're talking about fat loss in women over 40. So that's what you need to focus on. Strength training, 3 or 4 times a week. 4 times a week is optimum, but if you've only got 3 times a week, 3 times a week is good. So just fit in whatever you can. You can download my app free of charge, and there is a free 7-day plan with strength training workouts on that. I'm going to link it up here. It's also got high intensity interval training, which I'm going to just talk about that now. High intensity interval training, that's much better than doing a ton of cardio. And you really only need to do that for 15 minutes to 30 minutes. You don't want to be doing it for too long, because what happens is that actually breaks your muscle down, and you want to be building your muscle up. The North American Menopause Society actually recommend high intensity interval training as a great fat loss method for women over 40. They've carried out a study on it. It's perfectly safe. The number 3 thing that I put right was stopping all those weighted ab exercises, and the core work boils down to lots of planks, some leg raises and some sit-ups. That's it. Sometimes I only do planks only. Another technique that I also use, and I will link a video here about that, it's a very short 1-minute video, and that's stomach vacuums. Those are really good for people like mums who have diastasis recti. That's what I've got. And you may have a back issue that you can't do lots of core work because you actually do that standing up, and it's just about sucking everything in. I do hope that learning about my mistakes helps you. And if the one takeaway you get out of this, excuse the pun, you can actually eat more than you think you can and lose fat and get in great shape. And that's the big mistake I made. I kind of thought I needed to eat a lot less, and that's not the case at all. And you're actually going to get in better shape eating as many calories as possible but still losing weight. That's actually the sweet spot, because you're going to look and feel a lot better on it.